What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at some Retro Cup battles, which is the brand new league turnover. It is the second to last week of the season, which is crazy because I actually haven't hit Legend yet, and this is the latest I've gone without hitting Legend. And unfortunately, well, I should actually say fortunately, because this cup is decent. There's only three types banned, as you can see right here: Dark, Steel, and Fairy. And the reason we're looking at some weaknesses right below it is because those are Dragon weaknesses. Now, obviously, Dragon is weak to itself, but it's also weak to Fairy, which is banned, and Steel it can't hit. Everything is resisted against Steels. So that's two types that basically um, Dragon has no play into. And without any Fairy and without any Steel, the only thing Dragon really has to fear are Ice and itself. So we're going to be taking a look at a double Dragon backline. We're going to have Goodra as our safe swap, and then a familiar Pokemon that we've seen on this channel as well in Hakamo'o as our closer. And then we're going to have Dunsparce to deal with the Ices on the lead. Just those super effective rollouts and rock slides to take care of those ice types. So yeah, let's just hop right into some battles. Okay, Charjabug in the lead. This is a good matchup, obviously. We're hitting super effective against the bug. And then they come in Dunsparce. So now my plan is, because I'm going to be always ahead on energy because I threw right away, that I'm just going to stay in this matchup. There's no reason for me to get out because I have Hakamo in the back, which completely walls the moveset of Charjabug, even if they're running Crunch. X-Scissor and Discharge, which are the typical moveset of Charjabug, are both resisted as well as Crunch. So Hakamo, we can just decide to take this matchup and then align our Hakamo onto the Charjabug. The reason I just paused right there is because I just realized they were on Dig for some reason. Dig, Rock Slide, a bit of a weird moveset. I accidentally overfarmed there, which is unfortunate because this means I'm only going to get one move off here because that Mudslap will KO. But then that just means I can align my Goodra against this Marowak, the Kanto Marowak, Shadow Kanto Marowak. Bone Club will do some decent amount of damage, but I will get off this Aqua Tail before they make it to their next move, which will at least force the first shield. And at this point, because they've had to basically throw right away, they're in Dragon Tail range before they can get to another move. So I just come in Dragon Tail, and this is a one shield scenario. So we are looking very comfortable, even shield, even energy scenario. And I'm going for the Brick Break because they still have one shield left. And at this point, I just want fast move damage. They end up shielding that, which is crazy. But I want to come out with two moves, maybe just in case. Maybe that's what I'm doing. So yeah. Oh, I'm actually over farming it. It was completely unnecessary. I could have just thrown when I got to two moves, but oh well. I do predict that they are going to switch out into the Kwak there to try and get a Mudslap tonight, so at least I do farm that down. And then I farm the Charjabug all the way down to take the win. Dragonite on the lead. Another good lead. Rollout super effective, Rock Slide super effective, and then they come in with double. I do not have an immediate answer for double, but I do get the Body Slam catch onto the Hakamo, which is nice because we do have the super effective Brick Breaks here. Fortunately for us, we don't really need switch. I mean, Dragon against Dragon, we're going to just take each other out pretty quickly. Obviously, it would be nicer to have Dunsparce, but if we give up shields, then their Dragonite just comes in, farms us down with a shield advantage, and then they can just superpower and dip. So we're probably just going to let this go, which we are, which is good. I imagine I will come in with the Goodra here. Will not take any extra moves, so that's nice. Then they're going to come back in with the Dragonite. Fortunately, we have the energy advantage in this matchup now, so we're going to actually outpace the Thunder Punch before they get to the Dragon Claw, even though it's more expensive, which is nice. And at this point, I'm probably thinking that Dunsparce might have play in the back, which is why I shielded there. And it looks like it, that's why I shielded the Goodra there, because I thought I might have play in the back because of the way they were playing that matchup out. And I was kind of right. So now we're just going to go for the drill run here onto this Vic. They are at back-to-back lead plates. We should survive this. We will be low, but it's a non-shadow, so we should survive it. We just barely survived there, which is nice. This means we can get both moves off. They actually let that go, so we're just going to go for the rock side right away. They still have a shield, so this doesn't really mean much, but they are in farm down range, so at this point we can snipe with the Dragon Breath, and we'll just barely take that win. Into the next match, Arctobac's on the lead. So this is another good lead because Rollout and Rock Slide is super effective. And then they come in with a Oranguru. So they clearly saw the PvP Poke rankings and just ran with it. I think both Arctobacs and Oranguru both have a lot of play in this meta. Oranguru just doesn't really have any hard answers to it with Darks being gone. And they look like they're going to go for the full farm down, so I'm going to take advantage of this. And just go for the shield advantage. Coming in here is kind of debatable because everything would have been resisted on the Hackmo, and now I just take a super effective confusion that's boosted. But at least we get the farm down. Now we have an energy advantage on Hackmo, and then they come in with Charjabug. They end up getting a nice catch of the Brick Break, which is super effective. Everything would have been super effective here, but they do get the Brick Break catch, and unfortunately, we actually do just barely farm them down on 1 HP, and then we come out with a move loaded, which is huge, because we're not in a 1 move range on the Dunsparce, and they actually let that go, so at this point, I think I'm just going to have to go for the full rollout down, because we got 2 shields, and once that rollout connects, it will KO, so I'm just going to shield this and take the win. So a double Psychic normal backline is pretty interesting, but I think we see more than one of those even in these battles. So another Oranguru on the lead. Once again, this is a pretty neutral matchup. Because this is a neutral matchup, at some point we will want to switch into our Goodra to see if we can bait anything out. So I wouldn't be surprised if I go for the drill run here and then come in Goodra, see if I can check for any ice types in the back. And they just throw, so I'm fine letting this Brutal Swing go. I will not do that much damage. Brutal Swing is not a very good move. And we actually pull out a Grass. This happened actually several times with Goodra. People obviously know that the most typical moveset on Goodra is Aqua Tail Thunder Punch, so they feel pretty comfortable coming in with a Grass type, in this case Superior, which is not great. Obviously Dragon Breaths are neutral, but everything is resisted otherwise, and they do have neutral Aerial Aces, which they can actually use to take us out here. We did bait out a Grass type, I guess, not that that's any useful, but we just farm up as much as we can before they get to the next move, throw the Rock Slide, take it out. Are they going to come back in with a Oranguru? No, they're going to come in with a Dunsparce of their own. So, because we're still on the swap, I know I kind of needed my Dunsparce on to that Oranguru. So I wouldn't be surprised if I actually shield this up and then try and bait it back out, because now I have a move loaded. We actually go for the catch instead, which is kind of nice. This is a drill run though, so they wouldn't go for Rock Slide there. And then it looks like we actually got a sneak. Everything is resisted charge moves wise. It's just the fast moves. We actually get the full fast move down, which is nice. And then we're going to go for a super effective Brick Break here. They'll shield this, but they didn't shield us, and that now just puts them in farm down range. So yeah, my opponent was on that. They should have shielded that, but that could have potentially put them in farm down range for just the rollouts. Into the next lead, we've got another Dragon in Kingdra. At this point, we go for the Octazooka. If we don't get it, they farm up. I'm still going to call it this is the Octazooka. I don't think this is enough for an outrage. Yeah, so they just go for the straight Octazooka, and then they have another dragon in the back in Altaria. Obviously, the one weakness of Kingdra on the lead there, just not available in the Fairy, and then the ice is neutralized by its water typing. And same with Arctobacs, which is why Arctobacs and Kingdra probably have a lot of good play in this meta. I just went with Goodra and Hakamo because they've got a nice bulk, and I enjoy playing with bulk. So, anyways, we let that go, and then we come in with our Dunsparce, we're able to take out the Altaria, and then we are able to get to another move here, which is nice. And then we can probably snipe if they shield this, because they're not going to make it to anything other than a Octazooka, and they actually save that, and then it's an Arctibax in the back. I believe they have no shields remaining. Yeah, so they have no shields. We actually get the full farm down before they even come out with a move, and at this point they're in 1 Dragon Tail range, and we have a shield, so there's no way for them to win that matchup. Okay, Primate. This is our first bad lead. We're going to come in Goodra right away. And they're going to farm up to a close combat. We are going to respect this just in case. It is the close combat, so that's pretty nice. And then they come in with a Dugong. So obviously, we do have the Thunder Punches for super effective damage. They're likely to shield the first because they want to Icy Wind debuff us. But if they don't throw right away, we're going to make it to another move, so that's pretty nice. We can connect with this Thunder Punch. This will do super effective damage. And now they're already in the yellow, now they're red, and ooh, they just barely get the farm down before we're able to get to that Octatail, which is unfortunate. Obviously, come in on the Dunsparce here, soak up these 2 Icy Winds. There's no reason for them to go Icy Wind here. They should go Drill Run, other than maybe it lets them get to another move. So maybe Icy Wind first, then Drill Run, because you just want to go for the extra damage here. But then they come back in with the Hackmo. I wanted to call this bait so bad, but I ended up respecting it. And it is just the bait, it's the Rage Fist. And they've gotten a Rangaroo in the back, which is actually okay that I shielded, because obviously there's nothing I would shield on the Rangaroo side. It's just a fast move pressure that's super effective. And we are going to get the Brick Break off into the Dragon Claw. I believe they do let this go, which is nice because we actually get the KO before, because 3 turns registers before 4 turns. We're not going to make it to a move, so we switch out into the Dunsparce. They're at like 1 HP. But if I believe, because of that bait, they are at a close combat plus another move here. No, but they caught Karate Chop registers before the Dragon Tail, because it's 2 versus 3 turns, and they're able to take that win. Another good lead, Shadow Claws are resisted. It does take 2 Hydras because they are the Shadow, so they can take us out with 2. But I would not be surprised if I end up switching out of this matchup when they're not loaded on energy. Oh, and we wait the turn, go for the catch of the Hydro, and we get it. And they are going to farm up. They farm back up, 1 past the Hydro, and then they come in the Superior. So yeah, this is the second time you're seeing this. People understanding the typical moveset on Goodra, and then coming in with a Grass type. You could run Draco Meteor. You could run Sludge Wave. If you're feeling ballsy, it just takes so long to get there, and Aqua Tail Thunder Punch is really safe if you don't see a Grass. Unfortunately, we do get fast move denied when we come back in there, which is pretty unfortunate. They do just blind throw the Frenzy. The reason I was a little bit worried about coming Hackmo is I didn't want to get them to get off 2 Aerial Aces, but they did blind throw. They do snipe at the Feraligatr to grab our first shield of the match. And then they come in with Clodsire in the back, so we're just going to get a super effective Drill Run off. They actually don't let us, which is unfortunate. So now we're just going to farm back up, go for another one. They are not quite out of move, and I wouldn't be surprised if I wait the 1 turn and then catch again, and we get the sneak of the Dragon Tail, so that is absolutely huge. 2 catches, we catch the Stone Edge, which is resisted, so that actually is massive. And because we get that sneak, we can throw on good timing, getting to the move before they do. They do respect the Dragon Claw. It wouldn't have been lethal, but it would have done a decent amount of damage. I thought about calling this bait as well, but I was like, there's no point because they're not going to make it to another move. This is a super effective Aerial Ace, but it shouldn't take out from this range. It'll do about 40%, actually a little bit less than that. And then we are able to still make it to the Dragon Claw before they make it to the next move. And that's why I shielded that, because they weren't going to make 2 moves either way. And we get that Dragon Tail to farm them down and take that win. Okay, Cresselia on the lead. This is also a neutral matchup, but this is a neutral matchup I actually want to stay in. And that is because we want to check for what their charge moves are. If they're on Future Sight Grass Knot, we are more than comfortable coming with a Dragon and trying to lure out an Ice. However, if they're on Moonblast, we do not want to switch in this matchup, because then it's negative. And then they show us right away that they're on Moonblast. So that's huge. We're going to farm up. We're going to force them to throw their energy, basically, as soon as they get it. And they do. This Moonblast will just about to take us out, probably leave us in the deep red, and that does. We're going to get off that drill run before they can take us out, and then I wouldn't be surprised if we come in Goodra now, because they let that go, and it's a Ursaring for their safe swap. So we kind of came in at the same time there, both going for the snipe. They only farm into a Swift, so I'm going to overfarm just before they make it to their next Swift, because that did not take out. We just got that nice bulk to it, so that we get the Aqua Tail off to take them out. So now we have Switch. Shields are both 2 and 2 in play. What are they going to come back in with? They are actually going to come in with their Talonflame. We do farm up a little bit here, and that instant should say, oh, we actually live on 1 HP, which might be kind of worse. I probably should have come hack Mo there, but I didn't want to switch block myself in case I wanted a catch later. And we go for the catch. We don't get it. We do get 1 super effective rollout in, which is nice, but we do have 2 shields here. So they're probably not going to be able to make it to 3 moves before we're able to get the full farm down. Unless they're at back-to-back moves right here. If they're at back-to-back moves, then we might have screwed ourselves. But they're not. They switch into Cress, they just get farmed down, and then they get Dragon Tail farmed down on the Talonflame, and we are able to take that win. Okay, Mirror leads in the next match. This is okay. I'm probably going to farm up to back-to-back drill runs and then try and catch, which is exactly what I do. For some reason, every Dunsparce in the world farms up to 7 and then throws, it seems like, at least at my elo right now. And they have Altaria in the back. So this is also not the first Altaria we've seen. We've seen a lot of Altarias in these matchups. It is another bulky dragon, but it just takes so long to get to its charge moves that I don't know how much play it really has in this meta. Especially if Arctivax is one of the main dragons with that super effective Avalanche. But it does have access to a fairy type move, so I can understand maybe where they're coming from. And then they come back in with the Dunsparce. They're throwing before we are. So they are going to be at a slight health advantage, but we should be at a slight energy advantage. And then I wouldn't be surprised if I switch after this drill run and see what is that Pokemon in the back. It's a Talonflame. And they're actually slow on the switch, which is pretty nice, because that means that we should be able to get to a couple Dragon Claws here before they're able to get back to back Flies. Because Fly would be lethal from this range, and so now I'm just going to make sure I grab that last shield before I commit mine, which is nice. They do go for the move right away, and I believe they're 1 in center right away, but I think 2 Dragon Tails will take out from this range. Ooh, that's actually way worse. They live on 1 HP, which is pretty unfortunate. I do predict the Dunsparce was going to try and snipe, so I actually get the drill run off. It is unfortunately not enough to take out, but they come in with the Talonflame rollout, obviously connects before Incinerate, 3 turn versus 5 turn, and we take that win. Okay, bad matchup in the lead, rollout is resisted, so we come in with Goodra, and they respond with Jumpluff. Jumpluff is hard because obviously they have the super effective Fairy Winds. We have to go for Thunder Punches because that's the only neutral damage we have for our charge moves. These Aerial Aces do a decent amount of damage, especially on the Shadow. Yeah, it's only going to take them 2. At this point, I am going to try and fight for Switch. Okay, that's interesting. So I'm going to farm them, and then I CMP tie them onto the next Aerial Ace, pretending like I didn't know where their energy was at, and I actually no shield that, which is so unfortunate because I wanted to at least force the shield before I try and flip Switch, but I needed Switch in this matchup because everything is resisted on the Hackmo. Unfortunately, we do make it to an Aqua Tail, so that's pretty nice. We are at least going to get this chip damage or a shield. Just going to get the chip damage, and they farm us down. So now we can come in Hackmo. We are an energy wall. So Stone Edge, Aqua Tail, everything's going to be resisted unless they're running Mud Bomb, which appears they're not, because they just go straight Aqua Tail there. We're going for the full farm down here because we know a Stone Edge also won't take out from this range. Yeah, so they full send the Stone Edge. That still isn't enough to take out. I go for the switch because they were going to realize they weren't doing another move. And fortunately, I was right. They come in with Miltank, and now you get the charge move off before they do. Obviously, they have a 2 shield advantage, so this is going to be pretty hard to work out of. We are going to throw the drill around right away because we want to make sure we can get off any damage we can on this Miltank, or at least start grabbing shields. We finally are grabbing shields. This Body Slam, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam will not take out, and we actually live another one, so even if they outpace us here, which they don't, it looks like that was actually a CMP tie. And if it was, we're going to grab that shield. We probably still live this Body Slam. We're going to predict that they're also going to swap in, just go for the extra Dragon Tail. We get the Dragon Tail, and then we have the super effective Brick Break on the Miltank. This probably won't take out, it's not a very good move, but it does put them into range. We can farm down with rollout. And I'm not really sure what happened there. It looks like they didn't get a second rollout through when they should have, but we did, and so we take that game. Into what I believe is the last match of the video. For Feraligatr on the lead. It's a good lead. They come in with Clodsire. They probably will going to full send the Earthquake here, but that probably won't put us in farm down range. It will hurt. It'll put us deep into the yellow. And we're going to farm up. We're going to get off this Aqua Tail. And I would not be surprised if we throw the next one on CMP, trying to force their energy. And we do, exactly just like that. And throwing on CMP is good here because that can force their energy. And we actually don't really need Switch because as long as we have the Hackmo at an energy lead, it's okay. Hopefully this isn't the Stone Edge. I shouldn't have just let my Goodra get KO'd. Ooh, it is the Earthquake, so that's pretty unfortunate. And then they have Jumpluff in the back. So it is good that we are saving 2 shields for our Dunsparce here, because our Dunsparce is the only one that has any play on this team currently into their Pokemon, Jumpluff and Feraligatr. I am obviously over farming way too much here, and that's because I'm trying to be wary of a catch. I'm expecting the Rock Slide catch at some point, and then finally there it is, and I was able to react in time. So we do farm over 100 energy, which isn't ideal, but we get the drill run off, which is good because now that means they're in 2 charge move range. And they let that go, which means I'm going to wait the turn and then catch after my 1 rollout. And we're able to get it. We get the Hydro. It does take us out, but at this point we get the rollout down, and now we're at a energy advantage with the shield into the Jumpluff, and that is a winning matchup. So my opponent knows that, and they resign the match. Yeah, so that is the team. The whole building of this team was basically just around dragons. Dragon are going to have so much more play without ice or steels in this meta. That being said, that means there's also going to be more other dragons. And which dragons are going to be the strongest is what we're going to find out. I think Arctivax is the most highly ranked, and then Goodra and Hakamo behind it. But I do not have one built right now. I do have one that I could build, but I thought Goodra and Hakamo would do the job. And then Dunsparce, deal with your ices on the lead. You could switch out Dunsparce for pretty much anything that deals with ice. You could do a fire. You could do a... actually, there's no steels or fairies in this meta, so there's the only ice you're really going to see is probably like Dugong. So maybe fire wouldn't actually be too good. You could go for a water Pokemon that just resists everything, maybe like Gillespot, resist the moveset, the entire moveset of Dugong. And is good against Abomasnow, which is maybe another ice you might see. You could also maybe do a fighter that hits super effective on ice, unless you run into like Frostlass, for example, but so you could maybe run Annihilate or Primate. So yeah, this team has a lot of variations. Double Dragon backline is basically the only consistency, and then your anti-ice in the lead. I think Dunsparce was good. It was safe because there's a lot of other flying dragons that you can hit super effective with the rollout Rock Slide, so that's kind of why I went Dunsparce, but yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the team. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And until next time, peace.